Hi, everybody. I would like to explain a few things about what you guys did last week and what you will be doing for the following week. Overall, I'm very pleased with your progress. You are understanding what I am asking. At times, sometimes you aren't quite doing what I'm asking you to do, so this is what I am going to focus on to begin with. First of all, hillbilly elegy logs. I explained this last week. I'll explain it again. You received whatever points out of 10 for this week. It looks like a 0 when you look at just the grade for the hillbilly elegy log. However, you will not receive that grade until 5 weeks from now. And so each week I grade your hillbilly elegy and put a comment in the text box there, or in the comment section. And next week it'll say second log, however many points out of 10. And then you will then at that point have 20 points out of 10 all the way till 60 points. There are some improvement areas that you need to work on. Some people had trouble with the summaries. I put a new link in the Hillbilly Elegy Dropbox area for you to read about summaries. Some are having trouble explaining quotes. Again, I have a new link there. And some people are having trouble writing questions, and I have a link also there. Let me look at what these links are. Let me change this first to view a student. Okay, you go to content, that's where you should be going each week. And week 3, I have put in the Hillbillyology reading log about writing a summary, a quote analysis, and the complete sentence. Because some of you are not writing incomplete sentences. To help with creating questions, and this is what I want to go over with you right now. There's something, and you may have heard of this. I'm not probably telling a lot of you anything new. The Bloom's Taxonomy Guide to Writing Questions, there are 5 or 6 levels. I can't remember how many levels of questions to build. And many of you were writing what we call knowledge and comprehension questions. Things about, questions such as what happened after, who is, can you tell me more about, who do you think, what will happen next. Many of you are writing knowledge and comprehension questions, and really at first when you're writing questions about a text, you might be thinking those things, and those are good things to keep in mind to help anticipate what might be coming next in the textbook or in the memoir. But where I want to move you to is with analysis, synthesis, and evaluation questions. Analysis are questions like which events could have happened that whatever, or how was what Vance said in the first chapter similar to what he said in chapter 4 about, and then you tell me the subject. What was the underlying theme? What will be the theme? Or why did these changes occur? Can you distinguish between? The same way with synthesis. Can you see a possible solution to the poverty in the area where Vance is talking about? Same way you could do some evaluation questions. Things like, how would you handled a drunken or a mother who is addicted, something like that. How effective do you think Vance's solution to his mother's addiction was? Okay. And you'd have to name the solution in the question. So I have the link to this so that you can look at this and maybe create questions, as I said, more on the analysis, synthesis, and evaluation level. Try to avoid application, comprehension, and knowledge questions. I said most of you were right here last week. And I want you to move, if you can, to analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. I don't want questions like, what profession is Vance's mother, which was pointed out in the text that she was a nurse. I don't want those kinds of questions. So you'll want to work on that. Let's get back to the PowerPoint. Also, there were some grammar issues, and I also have some links about the complete sentence. And I believe I put in a link, oh, right here, about seen versus saw in writing languages. When you use seen, you need what's called a helping verb. When you say something like, I seen the movie, meaning I saw it last week or whatever, you want to write, I have seen, okay? You need to be sure that there's what we call a helping verb. I have seen many of your papers by now, okay? Not I seen them, I have seen them. You might say that in informal language, and saying seen when you mean saw is an indicator to many people that maybe, just maybe, you're not intelligent. And it's a terrible conclusion for people to draw about you just from the misuse of seen, but it happens. I've seen it happens. I've had colleagues tell me she doesn't even know the difference between seen and saw. Well, when you're using oral language, sometimes you use it, but you need to work that out of your oral language because people judge you by that. And you also need to move it out of your written language. I have seen, I would have seen the movie last week, but I got sick, those kinds of things, okay? Back into the PowerPoint again. Boy, I'm switching back and forth and confusing you. So, what I'm saying about the logs, remember that you don't get the full 60 each time, you get 10 points. There are new links to these issues right here. Again, I have the link in the DocBooks area, and then I have something here about seen versus saw. I seen a dog, I saw a dog, okay? You will have a quiz on Chapter 2 on thesis statements again. Please internalize that information. Be aware of it. I'm not saying memorize, I'm saying internalize. Know what you have to do to create a thesis statement, what steps there are. On the discussion board, please review thesis statements and examining the thesis statement page and the quote page in the Dropbox. That's important things for you to do. When you're writing this week's post, I want you to choose a quote, one of them that you used last week. And I want you to write it at the top of your post. And then underneath, you're going to have a paragraph. And the first sentence of that paragraph has to be a thesis statement that summarizes what you are going to say about that quote. Remember, the first sentence summarizes the idea that you're going to say about that quote, what you're going to say. And then you're going to write a paragraph or two that analyzes the quote. Why you chose it, what it says to you, and what it says about the book. So why you chose it, what it said to you and what it says about the book, about Vance or about a theme in the book. Okay? So, review this week. You've got the Hillbillyology Log 2, you've got a quiz, and you've got the discussion board. And let's back up. Whoops, too far. These are the areas of improvement that I'm looking for. In the Hillbillyology Log, your summaries, your quotes, and your questions, and things about grammar, what a complete sentence is, and your usage, and then that is the Hillbillyology part. The quiz is on Chapter 2 in the Gill text, and then the discussion board goes back to Hillbillyology. Please stay current and keep your dates correct. They are at the top of, in fact, I'll go there right now. They are right here. When things are due. And they are also down here, not in the Hillbillyology Log because there's different dates, but there are a date here and when your posts are due. I don't think I had anything else on the, oops, maybe I did. Okay, the review and, I think some of you are not putting the time in that you need to put in for this course. The rule is 3 hours for every hour in class or every credit hour. And since this class doesn't meet 3 hours a week, we take the 3 credit hours. And so 3 times 3 is 9 hours. You should be spending at a minimum 9 hours. Some of you who are familiar with writing, are good at writing, might be spending less. Some of you who struggle will be spending more. You should not complete all assignments on the same day. It's information overload, and you won't do as well as if you space them out. Maybe the first thing you do is read the Gill text and take the quiz. Maybe you'll do that today. Tomorrow you're going to maybe work on the discussion board. And maybe the next day, the next few days, you'll spend working on the Hillbillyology Log and replying to your classmates. And I know this so well. To do well, you can't begin the assignments the day they are due unless you plan to spend 9 hours or 5 hours or whatever. You can't start the assignments at 2 hours before midnight and get them in on time in a way they should be. There were quite a few logs that weren't finished, and I think people started too late on them. Also, you can't begin the assignments the day they're due because what if I'm not available for a question? Your best time to find me is in the morning, and I know for some of you that's difficult. But if you ask a question the night before, I'm going to get to it in the morning, except for weekends. Okay, give me my weekends. But if you send me a question Friday night when things are due, I'm not going to look at it till Saturday morning, maybe even Monday. So that's not going to help you out. I don't look at Remind usually at night. I did the first couple weeks because you guys were getting used to the course. But now that you're kind of in the rhythm of what the course is going to be like, I'm not checking Remind at night, okay? I shut down my computer about 5 o'clock during the day and turn off Remind notifications after about 6. I work about 4 to 5 hours in the morning on the course, and then I usually check back in the afternoon and work an hour or two. So, I mean, it's not on just your course, it's on the other 2 I have, but you're going to catch me mornings from about 6 or 7 till about maybe 10. unless I go water aerobics in the morning, and then it's probably till 11 you'll catch me. And during water aerobics, between like 9 and 10:30, leave me a message. I'm not going to answer, remind, as I'm doing jumping jacks in the pool, okay? So be sure you're spending enough time in the course, okay? This went a little long again today. Please watch it a couple times, send me questions about it, and remind. And remember, you are responsible for everything that I've said in the video.